just like meat.
I think a lot of people don't realize that insects are very closely related to crustaceans. A lot of insects taste like shrimp. A lot of other insects taste like lobster or crab.
Trimble says once upon a time the idea of eating raw fish seemed strange to many Americans. Now spicy tuna rolls are very much in the mainstream. Why not bugs? Danielle asked him.
Is this about getting over what it looks like?
Exactly. We've got these cultural inhibitions that we're raised with, that bugs are, quote, dirty and gross, but they're not.
And the benefits of using insects as food just might be too abundant to ignore.
Insects require less land, food, and water than livestock, giving bugs a real shot at becoming an American staple.
As American as apple pie? Could be. We shall see. The Osgood File. This is Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Do you have a broken window or rock chip on your vehicle that needs repair? Give us a call at HM Auto Glass, 951-858-5190. HM Auto Glass is your locally owned and operated auto glass specialist, offering low cost and high quality auto glass repair and replacement. We also work with all major insurance companies and offer free mobile service. So call us, 951-858-5190. That number again is 951-858-5190.
Are you looking for the right place to purchase your landscaping items? Well, come see us at Hydroscape. Hydroscape offers a large selection of irrigation products including Irritrol and Toro, such as their efficient precision nozzles. For 40 years, Hydroscape has been family-owned and operated, serving Southern California. With 17 locations, our knowledgeable and experienced staff is equipped to help you with all your irrigation, landscape, and outdoor living projects. Whether you're installing irrigation systems, wanting to maintain a healthy landscape, or simply create a beautiful lit space for outdoor entertaining, Hydroscape is the place to go. Visit our website at hydroscape.com for more information and find helpful articles on our blog. Or call our customer service center at 1-800-395-4477.
Hi, this is Steve Sanchez, and you hear me every weekend on my show talk about the importance of a financial plan, planning for your retirement, planning for your children's college education fund. Unfortunately, most people don't realize that they need to set up a foundation before any good financial plan can come into place. That's where life insurance comes in. Now, most people think life insurance is just an expense, but it's not. It can be a way of life, a standard of living when someone, the breadwinner, is literally removed out of the picture because of a premature death. Look, I believe in it. I've got life insurance for my family, and I want you to find out how easy it is to get life insurance and even qualify through some new non-medical life insurance policies. Look, my friends at eFinancial can help you do this. They're standing by to give you your free life insurance quote today. Call 866-807-9961. 866-807-9961 for your free life insurance quote today. And don't forget to tell them Steve sent you.
Wet'n'Wild Palm Springs is the one where you get big water park fun. Barefootin', in the sun, barefootin', flow rider barefootin', Wet n Wild barefootin'. Bring your friends and stay all day. Wet n Wild is your place to play barefootin'.
Yeah, you gotta get barefootin' this summer at Wet n Wild. Dive into all the thrills, all the action, all the fun. Take on awesome slides and rides. There's big fun for kids and much more. This summer, we have extended hours, dive-in movies every Friday, and everyone gets free tubes. Plus, save $7 on admission when you buy online or grab discount coupons at area Jack in the Box restaurants. For your best summer ever, it's Wet n Wild.
Slipping, sliding, barefootin', getting soaked barefootin', Wet n Wild barefootin',
Wet n Wild.
Barefootin', Wet n Wild barefootin'.
Wet n Wild. Park open daily.
Other talk stations use words like savage. Sounds brutal. Hey, it's all good. Your superstation. AM 1050. News Talk KCAA.
Hey! What the? Honey! The water just stopped in here.
They turned it off because you're wasting water.
What? What are you talking about?
You know.
Because you know it's all about that drought, no water. It's all about that drought, no water. It's all about that drought, no water. It's all about that drought, drought. Yeah, it's pretty clear, we're really short on blue. It's time to save it, like we're supposed to do. Some say it's doom, gloom, and all our grass must go. But together we can make it and enjoy our golden state. It's all about that drought, no water. It's all about that drought, no water. It's all about that drought, no water. It's all about that drought.
Hey, good evening, Southern Californians, and welcome to the Water Zone Show. I'm Rob Starr, along with the special Wizard of Water Management, Mr. Mike Barron.
Hey,
good evening,
Rob.
Mike. How you doing?
Great. Was out in the field today, so excited about the show tonight.
You got a nice tan today.
Thank you.
Going out pretty good. Hey, does your wife or family listen to us on the show?
You know, occasionally. Yeah. And the nice thing is they know that the podcasts are there, so when they get a chance, they listen to that. And my wife actually had some choice words for me.
Mine did too. She says, come in here tonight. She called me. She says, whatever you do, don't try to be too charming. Don't be too witty or intellectual. She said, just keep it to yourself. So I guess I can't get any better than that. So anyway, so good. We have a good show tonight. We have some good guests coming up. Anything new in the water news?
Well, I was out in Camarillo, and this is kind of more on the local level. It was a fairly large commercial project where, sure enough, the grass had all been poisoned by some Roundup, and we were there about late afternoon, and this gentleman walked out, and we started talking. He says, I just kind of really miss that green grass, and I said, well, do you feel any higher temperature now? Because that cooling grass, that does create a source of cooling. I know that asphalt or rocks can get up to about 160 degrees. No, sorry, that's too much. About 130 degrees in the summer. Synthetic turf can get up to over 160 degrees hotter than asphalt, and that cool season turf grass or warm season turf grass, which uses less water, just stays at a much, much cooler 90 degrees in the summer. So,
well, there's lots of I heard a product that they're not a sponsor or anything, so I'm not pushing them, but it was a company that it was called Revive. And they say you can put it on, and what it does, it helps the water go down into the soil much faster, and it retains that a lot. And so I heard they're pushing that. I haven't tried it. I don't know anything about it. I'm not trying to promote it. But I heard information about that was something good. And even today, coming to the station, there was a company. If you have a pool, and especially with the water, they don't really want you to keep filling the pool up. And if you don't fill the pool up to a certain level, your filter and pump aren't going to work good. But there's a company now. Again, they're not a sponsor or anything. I'm not promoting them. Where they come and they recondition your water. They bring a reverse osmosis system, and they only charge a couple pennies per gallon. They put it back in the system. They bring it into drinking water condition, and so you don't have to refill your pool, because they tell you after a couple of years you have to really drain your pool, take all the water out, and if you never do that and keep adding chemicals and stuff, the water's going to be yuck. And anyway, it's a new company spreading up, so it's building a lot of new businesses to do that.
Well, I think there's just everybody's aware of the drought. Many people are aware of the severity of the drought. No snowpack. Fourth year of drought. A lot of creative people are out there. I know a contractor, member of the California Landscape Contractors Association, Glenn Bennett, was telling me there are polymer treatments now that can reduce water use on turf by 50%. And, he gets frustrated because it's all about the drought and all about getting rid of turf. And he really feels that you can have the best of both worlds. You can actually do what I think it was Gary Collins, who was an author of a book, Built to Last, came up with this concept that, the mediocre companies, the average companies, they always look at their strategies of being this or that. We got to make a profit, or we invest for the future. But the really excellent companies, they embrace what they call the genius of the and that is, hey, we've got to be profitable, and we have to invest for the future. So I'd like to kind of suggest that people start embracing the genius of the and let's save water like we're supposed to do, and let's save our landscapes as well and keep those. So anyway, there's a lot of innovation, a lot of products out there. The internet makes it easier than ever to access information. So I think that's the way to go.
No, absolutely.
Keep an open mind.
And speaking of that, we've announced the contest at the beginning of the series of these shows.
That's right.
And it's a Toro retrofit contest. So what we'd like you to do, if you haven't done it yet, Mike and I agreed we're going to extend it another week because we want more people to enter and have a good chance. We have a good amount of people doing that. But if what they need to do is just send a photo of their front or backyard and tell us why they'd like to save their lawn for a chance to win a complete irrigation system upgrade to the latest in water-saving irrigation products. And that's going to be sponsored by the Toro Company.
Right, and that includes a professional installation. So smart controller that responds to changes in the weather, shuts off the sprinkler system when it rains and keeps it off for 48 hours, which is today a mandatory state regulation for sprinkler systems. And I just heard that the forecast is for some possible thunder showers this weekend. So who would have forecast rain in July?
You never know.
You
but
never
anyway,
know.
to get into the contest, just go to www.toro.com/waterzone and fill out the simple form, attach a picture, send it in 300 words or less because we can't read more than 300 words and more after that. And next week we'll pick a winner on next week's show.
Great.
So we're excited about that. Anyway, tonight we got some neat people coming in. I want to introduce a gentleman named Bruce Engels from Realty World All-Stars. He's also on the Citrus Valley Association of Realtors. And we have another gentleman we'll bring in named Bill Rue, and he's also with them, and he's his position is Government Affairs Director. And I actually met Bill here at Bruce at a symposium, but a training session I was doing for the water agency up in Chino Basin, and he was there to learn about smart controllers of their program. And after the session, we got in a discussion for probably about 45 minutes and stuff. We don't always agree on 100% of everything, but the good thing is we left as friends. We had a great discussion, and I thought he had a lot good of things to say, so I wanted him to come on, and then he mentioned this Bill Rue. Bill, are you with us? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, Bill.
Hi, this is Bill. How are you?
We're good. And just so everybody knows, Bill's out in the field with his daughter who's taking a driving test. Did she pass?
I am actually in Salt Lake City with the National Association of Realtors on our Legislative Affairs program for the upcoming year.
Ah, okay.
And I'm sitting outside because it's just easier.
Okay.
We're at a reception with the NAR president, and I just stepped outside. So.
Okay. Well, one of the questions I wanted to ask you guys is, because of the drought, and you guys sell properties and homes, how is that affecting your business? Because I know if I went to sell my house or Mike went to sell his house, which hopefully we're not doing, but
well, if you are,
get the memo?
I didn't get the memo yet. Anyway, are people going to be disappointed when they come up to homes that just don't have that curb appeal anymore because of the landscape issues and the water and so forth? How do you see it?
Well, I think that they are right in the middle of the adjustment of people used to the way it was when everybody had a green lawn and could have the lush landscaping. And now people are being told that they can only water so many days a week. And some people have just decided that they want to let their lawns go brown. Well, as a professional real estate agent, I will tell you that right now, if you see 4 or 5 homes in a neighborhood with dry lawns, you still look back at the distressed property market and say there's something wrong with this neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Okay, we understand that drought-tolerant landscaping costs money, but you're taking a chance of affecting your property values and others. But have people come and said, we're only looking for houses with water-tolerant landscaping? Not so much, but they're becoming more and more aware of it because of all the stuff handed down from Sacramento on how much water they have to save.
I know in the new home sales, the builders are marketing, zero energy type homes. They want to promote that real big. And anybody in the listening audience, we'd like you to call in and ask these guys, the experts. The local number, just so you know, is 909-888-5222. If you're outside of the 909 area code, call 888-909-1050. Please call, and we want to answer those questions.
Well,
I was just going to say, Bill, yes, did you want to answer that particular question?
Well, one of the things I wanted to say is that, and you are the practitioner in real estate, and certainly you've been in the market long enough and know this area very, very well. One of the things I think that's very telling is that Metropolitan Water District, in less than a month, is oversubscribed on their turf rebate program, where if you take out so much of your turf, you get a rebate and you put in drought-tolerant landscaping and things of that sort. I think it's very telling that the public is starting to get there and understand we're going to keep some of our turf because we may have a dog or a cat or some kids, but we're going to try to redo a lot of this. And certainly over at the Chino Basin Water Conservation District, and I talked to Eunice Yaloa a lot, she said they're getting inundated with requests from the public. So what you said, Bruce, about the tide is starting to turn, I think you're right. I think people are starting to look and say, even in my own home, I may not be selling for another year or two, but I'm going to do what I can do to get this water efficient landscape in because I know down the line that's going to be a benefit.
Yeah, and there's times when, especially very narrow, curvy areas where it's very tough to irrigate efficiently, makes sense to take turf out, or as they say,
right.
In the front lawn, sometimes when the only time that front lawn sees footprints is when someone's behind the lawnmower. We have to realize that water is a scarce resource and something that we have to work through this drought. Now, on the other hand, a lot of trees are planted in turf, and we need to also consider that if you just, stop watering the lawn, you've just stopped providing water to the trees, and if those trees start to get lose vitality, they can lose branches, the trunks can get weak, you might actually have damage to property that could be caused. So it's really important that if you are going to stop irrigating your lawns, of course, personally, I suggest reducing irrigating your lawns a lot, accept some brown, but have a little green in there so you can get through to the next phase. Hopefully we'll get some rain this coming fall. But just remember those trees, if they don't get water, they're going to be susceptible to disease. They're going to be less likely to make it through, the next 5 years. And we don't want to see, 30-40% of our tree population, get chopped up because we just didn't provide any water.
Now, Bruce, you were in the class that I taught a couple of weeks back, and I'm assuming you got the smart irrigation controller and stuff. Why did you decide, I'm not trying to push you on brands or anything else, but why did you decide to do that? Why was it important to you?
Well, it was important to me because me and my wife have decided that we're going to try and be as water wise as we can. And because I went to a class put on by the Citrus Valley Association of Realtors for its members, and it had some people from the Chino Valley Water Conservation District, and they were talking about these classes where if you went to the class and you learned about it, you could get a weather-based controller. And so I came to it and was very, very overwhelmed by how much it fit our needs of what we wanted to have done.
Now, Bill, how do you see your industry going forward with any objections or anything with water that's going to hurt your business?
Well, I think that in the real estate industry, and I'm doing the government affairs angle, cities are going to start, if we don't achieve some water conservation, I think cities are going to start responding with some ordinances that we may not like. And I think it's going to be in everybody's best interest to turn around and see where we can cut back within reason. You mentioned trees. Some of the hardware stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace, and some of them have things that are tree donuts and things like that. You fill up with water. They maybe hold 20, 30 gallons of water, and they slowly drip water into the tree's root system. Things like that will help cut back a little bit. I think the long-term fear with a lot of people is that suddenly people start putting in these draconian ordinances. And I think we need to make sure that we have a lot of common sense on this one. And Bruce is right. He's voluntarily doing this. He sees the benefit of it. He's gone out to the Water Conservation District and taken some of the classes and seen this. And I think it's beneficial for everybody to do that where we can. You're right. If the only time we use our lawn is when the gardener walks across the mailman, then maybe we need to consider taking some of that out.
Right. I know some of the new regulations where they only are going to permit 25% of your property that can have grass, and whether that's in the front or the back is your decision. And then on commercial properties,
yeah, that's for new construction. construction that came
Right,
down,
right.
I believe, the first part of the week.
Right.
That if your landscape area can be no more than 500 square feet, and of that, 25% can be mowed green turf.
Right. And then commercial properties, none.
Yeah, and that's true.
And they're not going to affect your current property. If you already own a home, they're not talking about that. They're talking about a lot of the new development, and especially commercial development is now going to have to really come up with solutions to something other than mowed green turf.
All right.
My guess is way down the line we're going to come up with very, very water-efficient turf, and at that point it might be a moot point. But at this point, with new commercial development, they're really asking the commercial developers to look at something other than the mowed green turf talent.
Right, and so let me ask you gentlemen in the real estate side of the business, with these turf limitations in place for new construction, what's that going to do with existing properties that might have the larger lawns and the greener look, given, let's say we do get an El Nino this fall and we are able to, within the next couple of years, kind of build up our reserves, and everybody, I think, is going to learn the lesson to conserve, but there won't be this really dramatic need to, hey, we got to save every drop.
Right. Well, it's always, it's a balancing act. You have the people that just love their green lawns, which me and Robert talked about. This is sometimes I think they make too much of a deal about the watering of the lawn as opposed to total usage of that property. Okay.
Right.
My thinking is that me as a property owner, if I want to cut back on my water I put in my pool, or if I want to cut back my showers so I can water my lawn, I should be able to do that. Now, again, I understand they're trying to get the biggest bang for the buck, but I also think that there's a very big need out there for lawn care professionals such as yourself to get the word out that we are one thing I learned at that class at the Chino Valley Conservation District is we do not know how much water our grass takes, and we rely on the people that may have a vested interest in our grass growing long quick, like our landscapers and our gardeners, to do that. So we're overwatering anyway, and I just wonder how much water would we save if we just watered what we were supposed to.
And Bruce, I think you're right about that. When you look at the rules, when they first came down April 1st by the governor, the idea was that you just cut back, depending on your area, 35%, 28%, 24%, whatever your area's been presented with. I know Upland, it was given 35%. They didn't say it had to be indoor or outdoor, just as long as you achieved that. And you're right. Somebody may say, I'm going to cut back on my outdoor watering. Somebody else may say, I don't need to use as much water indoor, or I'll cut back on my pool. I think that it originally started out with any way you can achieve the saving. And, of course, with about 60 to 70% of our water being used in outdoor landscaping in a residential setting, people immediately jumped on the outdoors rather than saying there's some people who don't use a lot outdoors, they're using a lot more indoors.
Yep. We had on our first show a representative from Riverside Public Utilities who told what a great savings that everybody in the city had come down. So that's pretty exciting. And I think if people understand how to manage their water and to take a look at the simple things in their house like leaks, same thing on their irrigation system, basic maintenance. If you don't have a system that's correct, that you have broken pipes, leaking valves, leaking heads, low head drainage, all these things that can cause water that you don't know that's going away and just wasting, it's going to hurt you. So I think the action that you guys are talking about is good. What we have, just let me say real quick before we go to a quick break, we have a lady coming on named Miss Maureen Orbeznik, who's the program manager for the Free Sprinkler Nozzle program, and that has been really successful in helping reduce water all over California. And we'll talk about that. And then we're also bringing in another gentleman named Dr. Jim Baird, who's a professor at UCR. He's in charge of turf grass studies. And so he can get a different perspective on, like you said, is there better grasses to use and how to keep that up. So we want to take a quick little break, but before I do, please call in. And I know last week I talked about people that were eating dinner and having their burgers and pizza and stuff. The first caller calls in, I'll give them a gift certificate for dinner. So the numbers are 909-888-5222. If you're out of the 909 area code, 888-909-1050, and we'll be back in a minute.
Hey, buddy, I heard the drought's moving in, muscling in on your turf. To make matters worse, the man keeps telling you to limit your spigot. That drought is bad news, no fooling. But me and my boys can help. The Water Boys, on the Water Zone, Thursday nights at 6. We'll help you protect your turf and save water. And hey, don't worry about it. Consider it a gift.
Yeah, Louie, you heard the boss. We gotta listen in at 6 p.m. on Thursday nights.
Okay, Vinny, you got it. The Water Zone, Thursday nights at 6 p.m. I'll tell our lawn it's now protected.
Are you looking for the right place to purchase your landscaping items? Well, come see us at Hydroscape. Hydroscape offers a large selection of irrigation products including Irritrol and Toro, such as their efficient precision nozzles. For 40 years, Hydroscape has been family owned and operated, serving Southern California. With 17 locations, our knowledgeable and experienced staff is equipped to help you with all your irrigation, landscape, and outdoor living projects. Whether you're installing irrigation systems, wanting to maintain a healthy landscape, or simply create a beautiful lit space for outdoor entertaining, Hydroscape is the place to go. Visit our website at hydroscape.com for more information and find helpful articles on our blog, or call our customer service center at 1-800-395-4477.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-643-9406. That's 1-800-643-9406. Again, 1-800-643-9406. Call now.
Southern California's Inland Talk Express is KCAA News Talk 1050.
Welcome back to the Water Zone Show with Mike and Rob. And we're going to bring on a lady named Maureen Urbeznik, who is the program manager for a program called FreeSprinklerNozzles.com. Maureen, are you there?
I am.
Good evening.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Rob.
How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having us tonight.
Oh, you're very welcome. I was wondering if you could, since we know you and most of the people don't on the other end, can you kind of tell us what FreeSprinklerNozzles.com is and how it started and what it does and how it's going to be wonderful for people?
Sure. I think like you know, the previous participants, I'm getting feedback. I'm sorry, are you?
No.
We're talking about is that not everyone's going to take out their lawn. And there are more efficient ways to water your lawn. One of those ways is with high-efficiency sprinkler nozzles. And the FreeSprinklerNozzles.com program is a web-administered voucher for free high-efficiency sprinkler nozzles. It's a collaboration of 28 water agencies throughout California. And basically, you get online, FreeSprinklerNozzles.com, you request a voucher, and then you visit one of the local participating suppliers, and you get your free nozzles and install them. It's as easy as that.
You know, I heard from Riverside Economic Development Agency that they see this kind of program as being very helpful to local business because the voucher gets redeemed typically in the city in which the water agency is providing service. So you get maybe homeowners that may not be as knowledgeable about high-efficiency sprinkler nozzles going into a business where that's all they do is work with irrigation equipment and high-efficiency sprinkler nozzles. They can get some good advice. So it really is a program that stimulates the local economy provides information to the people that need it, that are getting those nozzles, in a way that I think is just good for the community. Have you ever, has this program actually gone beyond just the residential potential? In other words, is there any other segment that is serviced?
It's offered to residential, multifamily, and commercial customers, and now commercial customers are eligible for both fixed spray and rotating spray nozzles. We've distributed over 1.4 million nozzles.
Wow!
Through the duration of the program, and talk about local businesses. That equates to about $5 million in sales.
Well, I know the city of Corona had a bunch of them. What was the?
Oh yes, so the city of Corona took an initiative last year towards the end of last year to change nozzles on many of their streetscapes, and they coordinated with the California Conservation Corps, which are youths, I think, from 18 to 20 some odd years old, and actually that program has been expanded, and they've become pretty good installers of high-efficiency sprinkler nozzles, fixing broken heads, fixing lateral line breaks, doing those things that really reduce water waste in the communities.
Wasn't that program for about almost 200,000 nozzles?
It was something in that order. I think that it got the projection, or the thought was to do that many. I don't think we ended up doing quite that many, but it was very effective in terms of the areas that were retrofitted. Probably as much from fixing broken lines and maybe broken heads that just happens with sprinkler systems. And so that maintenance, for so long, many of the cities were forced, because of the Great Recession, to reduce costs. And one of the ways is they just had to defer some of those sprinkler system maintenance. And now, of course, they're having to deal with the results.
Right. Well, I know a couple of weeks, just so you know, Mike, we got Melinda Weirich going to be on the show. She's in charge of conservation for the City of Corona Water Department.
Oh, great.
So she'll be on to do that. We do have a call. I guess Lynette wants to have dinner on us. Lynette, are you there?
I am.
Hi. Thank you for calling, and our producer and engineer will get your information where to get you the your gift certificate. But you have a call. What would you like to know? We got the water wizard right here.
Well, I hear you guys talking a lot about turf and how your system works well with the turf, but how well does your system work with non-turf lawns and lawn alternatives like clover and stuff like that?
Yeah, actually, the key is that when that nozzle is operating, that it's up and above the plant material so that it's not interfered with. So that typically will require either installing the nozzle on a fixed riser and then throwing over the top, or installing what we call 6-inch or 12-inch pop-up spray heads, which get that water discharge up at a high enough level that you don't have that interference. So the same high-efficiency nozzles that can be installed for lawns can be equally efficient and used on the non-turf areas. And in fact, with as many drought-tolerant plants and native plants that are being encouraged to be installed, you hear a lot about drip irrigation, and it's very good, but think about this. A native plant, how is it watered in nature? Well, it's watered by rain, and that's overhead irrigation. So that's what it's going to like the most. And if you do use drip, then you want to make sure you either loop a ring of drip emitters or drip line around the base of that plant so that you can basically simulate wetting that entire root zone. So either way, if you've just got clover or even a slope, those high-efficiency nozzles now range up to 15 feet on the fixed spray, and for commercial applications can get up to 30-foot distances. Maureen,
in the program for the freesprinklernozzles.com, there are two types of nozzles that they can get, correct?
For commercial customer, there's 4 types of nozzles.
Okay.
But they're all really for pop-up spray heads or fixed risers. So they're replacing, they're a nozzle for a spray head.
But you can also get rotating nozzles.
Well, for commercial jobs,
right.
Yes,
right.
absolutely.
Two types, fixed and rotating.
Right.
Yes.
Lynette? Which is better, the fixed or the rotating, especially for homes with living landscape?
Well, it all depends on the distance of throw that you want from that nozzle. You know, if you're in the 5 foot, 8 foot, 10 foot area, then I'm going to suggest the fixed spray nozzles. If you're more in the 15, 17, 18, 20, 24 feet distance of throw, because you have a wider area to cover, then definitely the rotating nozzles. But there are products out there that allow these rotating nozzles to get down to the 7, 8 foot range. So if you're in a windy area, then I'm going to recommend the rotating nozzles with the lowest angle of trajectory, because some of these rotating nozzles have a pretty high 30-degree angle of trajectory, and sometimes if there's wind, that just carries the the water away.
So anyway, Lynette, if you just stay on the line there, our guy will get your information. We'll get that out to you soon. And Maureen, the dollar amount of nozzles that a residential person can get is how much?
Standard voucher is 25 nozzles, but if you needed more for your home, you just have to ask.
Okay, and
you can ask through the program or your local utility.
Okay, and if it's a commercial application, say for a apartment retrofit or something, they call you a number direct to you?
100 is a standard that's given out, but if they can make a special request right online, they don't have to call me for as many as the site needs. And the website and phone numbers are? FreeSprinklerNozzles.com is the website, so that's what we're asking everyone to go to, FreeSprinklerNozzles.com. Okay, great. Well, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Maureen.
Yeah,
thank you, guys.
Thank you for. I know you've been managing that program for since its inception, and I got to say you've done a heck of a job. Sometimes I think you must be one of 3 identical triplets.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks to you guys. Toro has been really, really supportive of the program, and we appreciate it.
We appreciate your efforts at this. Thanks a lot, Maureen.
Thanks.
Take care.
Okay. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back on KCAA 1050 AM, and stick around.
Hey, buddy, I heard the drought's moving in, muscling in on your turf. To make matters worse, the man keeps telling you to limit your spigot. That drought is bad news, no fooling. But me and my boys can help. The Water Boys, on the Water Zone, Thursday nights at 6. We'll help you protect your turf and save water. And hey, don't worry about it. Consider it a gift.
Yeah, Louie, you heard the boss. We gotta listen in at 6 p.m. on Thursday nights.
Okay, Vinny, you got it. The Water Zone, Thursday nights at 6 p.m. I'll tell our lawn it's now protected. Hey, man, what are you doing?
I'm watering my lawn.
Don't you know you can't water your lawn in the middle of the afternoon? Uh-oh, you're in big trouble. Here comes the water police.
Well, what do I do now?
Tune into the Water Zone show on KCAA Radio Thursday nights at 6 p.m. They'll help you out.
Wet and Wild Palm Springs is the one where you get big water park fun barefooting. In the sun barefooting. Flow rider barefooting. Wet and Wild barefooting. Bring your friends and stay all day. Wet and Wild is your place to play barefooting.
Yeah, you gotta get barefooting this summer at Wet and Wild. Dive into all the thrills, all the action, all the fun. Take on awesome slides and rides. There's big fun for kids and much more. This summer, we have extended hours, dive-in movies every Friday, and everyone gets free tubes. Plus, save $7 on admission when you buy online or grab discount coupons at area Jack in the Box restaurants. For your best summer ever, it's Wet and Wild.
Slipping, sliding, barefooting. Getting soaked, barefooting. Wet and Wild, barefooting.
Wet and Wild.
Barefooting. Wet and Wild, barefooting.
Wet and Wild. Park open daily.
KCAA.
We're back live from downtown San Bernardino with the Water Zone Show. Our guests, Bruce Engels and Bill Rue from the Citrus Valley Association of Realtors. Welcome back, everybody, and then thanks for the caller in who won a nice gift certificate that we'll get out to her. Mike, you had a question of Bill, I think?
Yeah, Bill, so I was thinking, the last time I went and bought a home, and my wife and I went into the home, we'd look at the countertops and we'd look at the appliances in the kitchen, and we'd see how efficient is this house with respect to electrical usage. Does it have a gas water heater, etc.? And
most homes today have become far more energy efficient simply because those are the only appliances that are on the market that we can buy. If you buy a home built in 1965 and it still has the same appliances in it, it's not going to be very energy efficient.
Yep.
But during the years, most people have changed out quite a bit since then, and we've become very energy efficient and water efficient, for that matter, on the indoors. I don't know, Bruce, as the practicing realtor, he's seen probably a lot of these homes.
Yeah, well, I was just wondering, with water being such an issue and the drought and this trend to really think about not only today's water use but future water use, I'm thinking that maybe there ought to be some requirement to identify, well, how much water is this house and outdoor landscape going to use?
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, Bill Rue is our government affairs director for the Citrus Valley Association, so he and I are both active in the association's political affairs. And we know one thing for certain in government is if they can't get it voluntarily, they'll get it by legislation. And this is correct. As a realtor, there are various things that the seller has to provide to the buyer, whether it's hazard zone disclosure, earthquake, high fire, stuff like this. And I believe that it is going to be a requirement in sometime in the not too distant future that the seller provide the buyer with a example of their water bill, just like they can do with commercial is required to give examples of their energy bill. And so that the seller will have to give the buyer a legitimate idea of how much water they're going to be walking into.
So all of a sudden there might be a dollar amount that says, hey, this water uses $7,000 of water annually. And all of a sudden, the importance of a smart controller that shuts the system off in the rain or adjusts the irrigation times to the changes in weather, high efficiency nozzles that are properly maintained, all of a sudden, if that reduces that $7,000 cost to $3,000 and you can maintain a nice landscape, all of a sudden that's going to be more valuable, I think.
Well, absolutely. And I think as a realtor, if I have a client who is selling a piece of a property, a house, and they have all these things in it, I'm as a realtor, it's my job to get them hopefully the highest, best price I can by emphasizing the things that make this house unique. And the thing that will make a house unique in this market right now is high energy efficiency and high water efficiency. Whether you're doing it through the weather controllers or the sprinkler heads or whatever, because if people can keep the house that they see, and they don't have to worry about, well, what happens when water goes up to $5 a gallon or whatever it could go up to, then it makes their purchase a lot safer, and so it makes your house a lot more marketable.
Yeah,
we've done a very good job in the last 10 or 15 years with indoor water conservation through low flush toilets, through different types of shower nozzles, your kitchen sink nozzles, and the fact that a lot of people now are installing these instant heaters under their sink in the kitchen, in the bathroom. Make it more efficient. When you want hot water, you don't keep the water running. It's instant. We have a lot more efficient dishwashers, washing machines. In fact, some of the water agencies are giving rebates if you buy efficient dishwashers, washing machines, things like that.
Absolutely.
So we're starting to get there where people really are looking inside and saying, I want an efficient home with water. I don't want one that's going to be wasting a lot of it.
Well, EPA water...
We've seen that just in the new appliances going in.
Absolutely. And, EPA WaterSense has a new homes program that recognizes new homes for their water efficiency, not just inside the house, but outside of the house as well. And by meeting those standards, the builder does have the ability to use the EPA WaterSense, homes logo. have you seen much of that?
Well, they have that also for the Energy Star, and the National Association of Home Builders also has one for green standards as well. So I think those, as we all agree, are going to be the future. I think the most important thing is educating everybody to what it is and what's available. A lot of people don't know about any of these things, which is shocking, but they don't.
We're fortunate in the region to have so many of the water agencies that want to do this. I know in our area, and Bruce has gone to it, I've gone over there, Chino Basin Water Conservation District. I really can't say enough of what they're doing to educate the public on this issue. And you can walk through their facility, see different types of plants, understand for your specific home what might be the best water use. And I really commend them for taking time to do this with the public.
Absolutely. They have really one of the best, if not the best, outdoor demonstration gardens that I've seen. And the approach that they're taking, having homeowners come in and take a class, but then they make the effort to actually install that smart controller, program it, again, repeat the training to really make sure that the homeowner is comfortable with the technology. So not all of the agencies do that. Many agencies just basically give away free controllers, or they just simply do a rebate, and there isn't that extra step to have it professionally installed and programmed, which makes all the difference. Now, have either of you seen or heard any discussion about gray water systems becoming a more significant part of the new home building effort going on in California?
Yeah,
that's something the governor talked about in his new regulations that came down on Monday, Tuesday, talking about using gray water, your dishwasher, your sink, your washing machine, to be used for landscaping. It's a great idea. It can be very expensive, though, to try to install on a new home. And I think the builders are going to have to look at some of those costs and say, how do we weigh? It's a balancing act between the cost of that versus the cost of something else.
KB Homes has done that. They tied in with a company. In fact, we're going to have that company on the show in a couple of weeks. Cool. The CEO of that company of doing that. It's real hard to start to convert once everything's all in and put in extra pipes and things of that. But one thing I think is important, I get questions at home a lot, and I'm going to throw this out. I know Mike knows the answer, and I know the answer, but people want to know, they want to keep their lawn, they want to keep it green. What are the first simple steps they need to do? Because I know the listeners want to know that as well. Not everybody wants to rip their lawns out. They like it. They want to have a safe play area for their kids, for their pets, whatever. Just curb appeal, whatever.
Well, the first thing I want to just say to our listeners is, if you are in the process of removing your turf, please replace it with permeable landscaping material. Yep. Don't put rocks that are going to compact the soil and reduce the permeability of that soil. We don't want to increase runoff and take more contaminants, into our storm drain system. So permeability, creating retention areas for stormwater runoff. These are great ways to, if you're going to spend money to re-landscape, let's keep those in mind, permeability and retention of storm runoff.
Well, the water shaming thing is getting to be really big now. And
well, here's the thing. It was a good idea. Bruce and I were just talking during the break, and, it's Bruce's idea. He said, if your systems really can save a third of the water that non-efficient systems use to maintain a landscape, and I can keep my landscape looking good and my turf, green, and I'm also reducing water use, I better put a sign out in front that says, hey, I've installed high-efficiency irrigation equipment. I'm reducing my water footprint.
But there's people that have put systems in place, and they used all the new nozzle technology and all the smart controllers, and they sincerely reduced their water maybe 40% or more. And yet the water agencies are still coming back, you got to reduce it even more and more and more. I think in some cities, I know in Texas, they have, if you have a smart irrigation system, they allow you not to comply with the normal, you can only water 1 or 2 days a week. They let you have that because you've invested in a system that is reducing water. And I think that's you don't want to punish the people who invested the money to put in the smart system, and then you keep beating them to take out more and more and more, which the only way you can do it is just turn it off.
Well, this comes up, and then I'll return to the original question of what should we be doing to reduce our water waste in our landscape. But I believe that the state, we had Felicia Marcus on our program. She's the chair of the State Water Resources Control Board. And from her and from others, it seems to me that the water agencies really do want to be of assistance in this effort, and they want to be fair. But this has come upon us, even though this is the fourth year of the drought. The regulatory impact, of course, came upon us very quickly. And if you look at the different types of technologies that are out there, and all of a sudden the water agency says 10 minutes per station, twice a week, that's it, then some of these high efficiency nozzles that put the water down more slowly and more evenly, those folks get penalized because they're actually saving water even though they're running their systems a little bit longer. So I think it's education, not only of end customers but also of the water agencies to take that into consideration. But again, back. Oh, go ahead. Did you have a comment there, Bill?
What you're saying, and Felicia has been on your program, and that's great because I know Felicia rather well, and she really believes in education.
Yes.
When you hear her talk, she'll tell you we've got to educate people, and what is appropriate in one community may not be appropriate in another community.
Yes, and today, it started back in 2009 with the calculation of this gallons per capita per day, and now they're calling it the RGPCD, for residential, but every water agency now calculates this number. So one of the ways that the water agencies are trying to be fair is they're saying, hey, if you have a GPCD number as a homeowner of 57, but the average for the entire water agency is 110, they're probably going to say, hey, you're doing your part. We're not going to penalize you for not going to 42, when the average is 105. So with that number, and I was really impressed. I live in the city of Glendora. They sent out a circular with their water bill that explained how do you, as a consumer, calculate your own RGPCD, and they took you through the steps. So they're helping us as consumers realize, hey, how are we doing compared to the city average? And online, the state of California, through the Drink portal, that's DRINC, lets you click on any agency in the state of California and identify what their GPCD number is for each month and what they've reduced their water consumption by for that month. So it's they're taking that actual usage into consideration and trying to be fair, I think.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that Citrus Valley's Association of Realtors did is have these seminars for our agents to learn from the various different water districts of the city we have members in. And they were talking about there's this one company that actually has software programs that if your water meter is intelligent enough can start telling you exactly your instantaneous per water usage at any given time, like you do your smart meters on your house on your electrical. Can you imagine what difference it would make if we had water meters that were smart and had telemetry? So if you had a broken sprinkler head, it would alert you, because most people don't have the faintest idea until they blow the water off.
This was a famous story from a friend of mine who's a water wizard, Mr. Mike, about when you go to the gas station, if I remember your story correctly, you go to the gas station and you fill up your tank. You're standing in front of a meter and you're seeing exactly how much gas you're putting into your car. Conversely, when you're using water at your home, you don't see that, and it's innocuous to you. So the only way you're going to see it is at the end of the month when you open it up and you fall on the floor.
Right.
So,
For the
oh
quarter.
my God.
Or
every other month.
Or yes. Yeah. What if you don't get your bill except every other month, and then it's always 15 days after the second month? Well, you're through the summer by the time you know, oh my gosh, I got to stop. But today, I mean, I never did this before, but I took like 3 years of my water usage, because I said I got to, if I'm going to talk about saving water, I better I better do it. So I'm proud to report that.
And he really does do it.
Yeah, I was actually down about 60%. So I guess that means I was wasting a lot of water before, but down 60%. But the whole city of Glendora was down 48%, and I think they really took to heart this challenge. And because in every neighborhood, there's very, very few like perfectly green lawns the way we're used to. Now some are like half brown, half green. If you just keep your turf, you can keep it alive with very little water and wait for it to then rain, and then we can have that green grass again.
But speaking of that, we just want to remind the listeners about the contest again, because it's one way of saving water. Again, just go to www.toro.com/waterzone, and all you do is send a picture in of your front or back lawn of something that you're having problems with, you want it fixed, and tell us in 300 words or less why you want a new irrigation system to fix your problem and help you reduce money on your expenditures for your water. And it's going to run until next week. We're going to pick a contest winner. It's all, as Mike said earlier, it's all professionally installed, and it's going to save you money, and you can keep your lawn. It's going to look nice.
Absolutely. So I got to just share a little information about water usage. This is it's called 9%, and it just came out May of this year. By Donald R. Hodel and Dennis Pittenger. They're researchers at the University of California Cooperative Extension, and they use state of California information because we're all about saving water. It's very focused. We're taking out all this lawn. Well, basically what they said is, based on state of California publications, 77% of all the water that is available in our water system in the state of California goes to environmental applications, which means either just allowed to go out to the ocean or there's a specific reason, for fish or whatever. And agriculture, hang on a second. Yeah, 77%. Then for landscape water use, it's only 9% of the water that gets used for that. Now, residential outdoor watering accounts for 7% of our total water, while parks, golf courses, and sports fields account for 2%. So when we're looking at trying to reduce how much water we use in the outdoor landscape, what they estimate is that it's down to something like 3.5% to 4% of the total water supply available in the state of California is going to outdoor landscapes. So if you can save half of that, that means we'll only save 2% of the total. So we have to try to keep that in perspective with respect to all of the other things that are going on.
Well, I hate to say it, but guess what, Mike?
Are we almost at the end of our time again?
We probably got less than 30 seconds, I guess. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. Bill, we appreciate you coming on, and also Bruce. I certainly appreciate carrying on and continuing our discussion that we had at the Chino Basin Water Training. Everybody, have a good week and save water, and go to ToroWaterSmart.com, and we'll help you reduce your water
use.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Do you have a broken window or rock chip on your vehicle that needs repair? Give us a call at HM Auto Glass, 951-858-5190. HM Auto Glass is your locally owned and operated auto glass specialist, offering low cost and high quality auto glass repair and replacement. We also work with all major insurance companies and offer free mobile service. So call us, 951-858-5190. That number again is 951-858-5190.